right, we have some breaking news and a injustice that has been perpetrated on Americans who live in the United States territories, such as the Virgin Islands, specifically St. John's, and also uh, like St. Kitts. So let's go ahead and we are gonna jump into it and talk about it right now. Hi, all. Thank you for voting for me at the Gundies. I really do appreciate that. Voting is now closed. Let's see how I do. Also, I am looking for someone in Kentucky. If you are in Kentucky, you can email me at info@crumpy.com. That is info@crumpy.com. And I haven't really plugged this too much recently, but if you want to donate to the Scouts, you can go to gibsongo.com/997. That's gibson.com, gibsongo.com/997, and you can donate to the Cub Scouts. We would definitely be more than happy to take your money. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about what is going on in the U.S. Virgin Islands. And when I was trying to make the thumbnail, I used a AI, and it kept on saying that I couldn't use U.S. Virgin Islands for some reason. I don't know. Maybe I thought I was talking about something else. So we are going to be talking about this case right here, and just to show you the header on it, once I get it back up, crap, whatever. Here it is. It is the United States of America versus the government of the Virgin Islands. The Virgin Islands Police Department and Mario Brooks in his official capacity as the police commissioner of the territory of the Virgin Islands. No, Virgin Islands is part of the United States. The U.S. Virgin Islands consist of several different islands, and yep, and I have no idea what your name on Discord is, so I don't know. So let's go ahead and we'll go ahead and talk about what is going on. Today, the Civil Rights Division of the Department of Justice filed, it's St. Thomas and St. John, sorry, filed a case against St. Thomas and St. John's, the government of the Virgin Islands, because they have something called the Violent Crime Control and Law Enforcement Act of 1994, which is 100% unconstitutional. We had a little case in this country called Bruin that said that you cannot deny the right to carry a firearm outside the home for self-defense. And also we have Heller that says you cannot deny the right to own a firearm at home. But in the Virgin Islands, for some reason, they seem to be like Hawaii and think they have some type of aloha spirit. Decided that they don't have to go by the Supreme Court rulings in Bruin, McDonald, and also Heller. They are basically nullifying the Second Amendment. The Department of Justice is saying that they have virtually nullified the Second Amendment. One of the things that Bruin said is that proper cause cannot be used in granting a permit because basically that allows law enforcement to deny anyone. That's called a may issue scheme. And the Virgin Islands, even though they're part of the United States and they are bound by the United States Constitution, decided that they don't have to abide by Bruin, and they still have a proper reason to carry a firearm, and that is left entirely up to the commissioner. So if the commissioner decides he doesn't like you, he can just say no, or she can say no, I'm not going to grant you a right to carry a firearm. The Virgin Islands also has some other problematic things in the firearms law. If you want to own a firearm, you have to bolt your safe to the ground inside your home. And also, you have to permit warrantless searches of your home. So basically, what they can do is they can come search your house at any time for any reason without probable cause if you own a firearm. To own a firearm in the Virgin Islands, you have to agree to that, which violates the unreasonable search and seizure part of the Constitution. But once again, the Virgin Islands thinks because they're territory, they don't have to obey by the Constitution. They also have an undefined good moral character, which they can decide you're not a good moral character, so we're not going to allow you to have any guns. There's no type of listing of what that actually means. It's totally up to the police chief whether you have good moral character or not, which is a problem and could and should be knocked down. If you get caught with a gun, you can get 10 years in prison and a fine of 10 to $15,000. And get this, if the police decide that you have too many guns, they could bar you from getting any other guns. So they could deny you a permit to buy a firearm because they believe that you have too many guns. Also, it takes freaking forever to get your permit in the Virgin Islands to buy a gun. We're talking about over a year here, which is a right delayed is a right denied. It's crazy. So, because of all this, the DOJ is saying that the Virgin Islands is violating the civil rights of their citizens. You got to remember, the Virgin Islands may be a territory, they're not a state, but their residents are U.S. citizens and they are afforded the rights of the United States Constitution. What they are seeking from the Virgin Islands is for the court to grant a permanent injunction against the islands and the statutes. Basically, saying that they have to get rid of the good calls part of the law. They have to give up the warrantless inspections without probable cause. They also have to issue permits in a timely manner, and they cannot deny your permits because you own a bunch of firearms. This is out of the new 2A department of the Civil Rights Division of the Department of Justice, which is led by Assistant Attorney General Harmeet Dillon. And we're going to see what exactly happens here. I do think that the DOJ is going to win this because the Constitution does not stop just because it is a territory, and a lot of the laws are in direct violation of the Fourth, Fifth, and Fourth, Fifth, Second, and 14th Amendments. So it should be pretty much a slam dunk case, and it goes directly against Bruin, it goes directly against McDonald, and it goes directly against Heller. So it's going to be interesting to see. I believe that the Virgin Islands are going to try to argue that they have some type of legal loophole because they're a protectorate and not a state. But we're going to have to see exactly what happens. It should be it should be interesting to see. That is it. Just wanted to let you guys know exactly what is going on there. My article on animalland.com is already in editing and it should be out anytime now. So in the next few minutes to an hour, you should see that pop up. But yep, it is good news. All right, guys, that is it. Now, if the Justice Department will stop defending the unconstitutional NFA, we might have some I don't know, some progress, but right now the DOJ is still defending the unconstitutional NFA. All right, guys. I'll see you guys later. Bye.